I have a learning disability. My ability to take in information, ability to process and retrieve that same information later on. So that means that it takes me longer to learn new information and then answer questions on the spot. I've been given two really great metaphors to explain myself because since part of my disability involves memory, this helps me to remember the specifics of my problems. The first one is I am a funnel. I have a wide mouth to take in information and a long skinny tube with which to process that, so it takes a long time for it to get to the bottom and for me to be able to access it. So the second metaphor is that my brain is like a closet with lots of hooks on which to hang information. They're all labeled, but the person handing me the facts goes a lot faster than I can hang the information onto the hooks. So before I know it, there's a stack of facts on the ground and I'm lost and I don't know where to put anything, and I get really confused and start to panic. Some things that I've learned over the years to help me cope with my problems is I make lots of lists. I'm a compulsive list maker. It helps me to write things down, to practice remembering the information first of all, and then to have it on hand for if I can't remember. Even before I knew that I had a learning disability, all through growing up, it reminded me that a person can only do their best and nothing more. And so even when I didn't have a diagnosis or a specific explanation of why I am how I am, I did understand, because of my mom's reminders, that you can only put in as much as you have, and then that's all. That's your best, and that's really good. If I'm going to have a conversation with somebody that I'm a little bit intimidated by, or if I need to ask some questions that I need to remember the answers, I'll often bring a friend with me because I can function fine in a conversation and have the right answers for them at the time, but then I'll walk away and I won't remember what happened really, because of the intimidation factor and lots of new things coming at me at once. So my friend can help me remember what happened. Some common misconceptions that even I had about my learning disability, because I was only tested and diagnosed with my learning disability when I was 20 years old, a sophomore in college, so it's all kind of new to me and I'm just used to dealing with it all. But before I knew that there was a diagnosis, I always just thought that I was slower than everybody else. It was easy to judge myself on or against my peers who were faster and who could learn things a lot easier than I could. I've had lots of teachers who would try to be really helpful and say things like, you know more than you think you know, or this is easy, Amy, why don't you get it? And they're trying to be nice, but when they say things like that to me, it just makes me feel more stupid, and it backfires, and I get more intimidated, and yeah, it's not good. Knowing that I have a learning disability and telling people, other people about it to explain, it's not a crutch. I'm just explaining myself because this is who I am, and I want people to understand how I need to function and how my brain works. My advice to anyone working with kids, or even just in any social situation, is to remember that everyone thinks differently. And so, especially in educational situations, to remember that saying things like it's easy or this is simple, or things that I think a lot of people think are encouraging, are not necessarily. And if you're setting the standard of this is simple, and if somebody you're trying to teach doesn't get it, then that's basically telling them that they're subpar. So remembering to listen to be really aware of how people are reacting and how you're presenting new information to people is really important, and honoring how people think and how we all need to learn.